However, the other side of that is during my 20s, starting early in my 20s right through to my 30s, I started experiencing a lot of health problems. And, I'm quite sure at this point that the stress of my work played a role in that. And so, yeah, sort of early in my 20s, and they were all of these health issues. There's quite a few different things going on for me, but they were escalating. And I was working with the doctor, and I was following doctor's orders and doing everything I was supposed to be doing. And not only were my health issues not resolving, they're actually getting worse. And by the time I was 30, maybe shortly after, maybe early 30s, I had 5 operations, a lot of antibiotics, which does not help gut health at all. And everything was really going downhill.
Thank you for tuning into Time for You Evolve for female entrepreneurs. Remember, you have what it takes to achieve greatness. Your time is now. You're here with me, you're ready to change lives, and you're ready to change the world. Isn't it time to skip over the confusion and start creating sustainable and consistent results? We're going to pull back the curtain and start giving meaning to life in this podcast. Time for You Evolved. Hey, my name is Lisa Carmichael, and I am obsessed with everything online. It's no secret, in this crowded and highly competitive business world, we need to stand out. It's even more important at a deeper level to stand up for ourselves. I am a farm girl who grew up shy with zero confidence. If someone had suggested that I would eventually start a podcast, I would never have believed it. As a farm kid, I had the unique opportunity to embrace a holistic approach to life. All the seasons of growth were lessons that have helped me and other female entrepreneurs find success when they've been stuck and struggling. The Time for You Evolve podcast is here to help you navigate business online so you can be laser focused and help you navigate the messy and the magical in every season of your business. Pull up a seat to hear the tried and true secrets that other female entrepreneurs like you are facing, and get ready for real talk while you learn. This is the Time for You Evolved podcast. Hey there, entrepreneurs, ready to work smarter, not harder? Then you're in for a treat. Let's talk about video marketing, the smart approach that attracts, retains, and converts faster than any other strategy out there. Hey, I get it. Video marketing can be daunting. You should be doing it, but you're not quite ready to take that leap, or you're frustrated because you're not looking like a pro. Hey, I get it. Who can blame you? Creating videos can be frustrating, time-consuming, and downright intimidating. That's where Big View comes in. It's the solution for your frustration. With Big View, you can create professional videos with ease thanks to its teleprompter app. I've been using Big View for years. Did you know that? Big View is an app that has saved me a lot of time and hassle. The app makes it easy to create professional looking videos. It's an online teleprompter that allows the presenter to keep eye contact with the camera while reading the text they need to speak. Using a teleprompter app allows the reader to sound natural without cue cards or notes to fumble or looking down while you're speaking. And the best part is that Big View allows you to focus on your performance and delivery so your confidence shines through. You get to keep eye contact with the camera while you're reading your script. Whether you're a marketer, a blogger, a trainer, a freelancer, a publisher, or business owner, Big View is designed with you in mind. If you're ready to take your video marketing game to the next level, click on the Big View link on my website, lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. Join me and be the best presenter you can be and learn how to make great presentations. And that's lisarcarmichael.com/bigview. I want to say, first of all, welcome to the Time for You podcast for female entrepreneurs.
I am so honored to have Beth Joscelyne join me today. Beth has a degree in traditional naturopath. She is a nutritional coach and breathing practitioner with over 20 years of experience. And I feel honored to have met Beth 2-3 years ago during COVID as we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with our businesses during COVID. We got together at Tiny Diner in Minneapolis. We met more people and we kind of grew a foundation and realized that entrepreneurs don't need to go down this road alone, that we can work together, we can collaborate, we can build partnerships. Beth, welcome. I would love for you to share with the listeners a little bit more about you and mostly about how did your career path, what did that look like when you first started?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, it's funny looking back now to COVID and when we met at that tiny diner. And I remember at the time, there was no other networking groups that were meeting face to face. So that's why I kind of thought, well, I'm going to start my own. And yeah, it was tough starting a business at a time when being social was not allowed. But I'm very happy to be here today. As you mentioned, I'm a traditional naturopath and holistic nutritionist and herbalist, and I do functional breathing training. And I have a business called Vida Naturopathics. And I started that business, beginning of 2021 during COVID. And that's because I just recently, within sort of 6 months earlier, had arrived in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. So I was kind of starting again. I did have a business back in New Zealand where I had been living.
And that's where she gets this beautiful accent.
Right. Yes. Going back beyond that, how did I kind of get into my career? Even from a really young age, I have a really clear memory of being quite fascinated with herbs or herbs, and that they had these medicinal properties and that you could take different herbs to help with different things. So I really clearly remember that, and I would read books and things about that. And I also was quite interested in this concept that how we eat, the foods we choose to eat, that they affect how we feel. So yeah, it kind of started from a young age. And weirdly, I went into the finance industry. So I finished school and I did a Bachelor of Business. And, really, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so in my mind at that time, Bachelor of Business, that's everything. So I ended up working in the finance industry. And, it's certainly, I wouldn't call that my calling, and it was very stressful in a lot of ways, but I don't have regrets around it because I know that 10 years working in the finance industry really pushed me out of my comfort zone and I guess gave me confidence that I could do things that, made me nervous or scared me. And yeah, so it was really helpful, both, I'll say, personally and professionally, to do that 10 years in the finance industry. However, the other side of that is during my 20s, starting early in my 20s, right through to my 30s, I started experiencing a lot of health problems. And, I'm quite sure at this point that the stress of my work played a role in that. And so, yeah, sort of early in my 20s, and they were all of these health issues. There's quite a few different things going on for me, but they were escalating. And I was working with the doctor and I was following doctor's orders and doing everything I was supposed to be doing. But not only were my health issues not resolving, they're actually getting worse. And by the time I was 30, maybe shortly after, maybe early 30s, I had 5 operations, a lot of antibiotics, which does not help gut health at all. And everything was really going downhill. And I was kind of facing my next operation. And I finally realized, this is not working. Conventional medicine is really great with the acute stuff. Don't get me wrong. They're really great at putting us back together if we have an accident. But the chronic health issues, not so great. And it was really just about suppressing symptoms and not addressing the underlying root cause. And so I found myself a naturopath who I really resonated with. I saw her, worked with her, and I completely turned my health around. And the silver lining of all of that is that I had always wanted to study natural medicine, and that finally gave me the kick to go back to university and do it. I wanted to help other people who were struggling with their health. And so I went back and did a Bachelor of Natural Medicine or Health Science and became a naturopath. And so at this point, I was in New Zealand. I'm Australian, but I'd moved to New Zealand at this point, and I started a business there. I really love what I do now, and I definitely feel like this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. So, it was kind of not a straight line in terms of my career path, but it all kind of led me here in some way, and very happy about that. Health is so important, and it really does impact how we go through life and how we experience it. And firsthand experience, I know that when we're not well, we can't really be kind of living life to the full. And so I love helping people restore that.
It's so true that our journey is never a straight path. And I want to segue even off of something that you had shared with me about doctors in medicine. They are finally becoming more aware, and you've actually partnered with physicians and doctors to share with them what your knowledge is, especially when it comes to gut health and when you're talking about holistic medicine.
Absolutely. I've worked with a few doctors now, and have doctors that refer patients to me, because we are a really good team. They are good at what they do. They don't have time to be really holding someone's hand in terms of learning how to eat a healthy diet and addressing underlying issues. So it's a complementary, it's a partnership. And it's been really good working with some doctors and
I love it.
Having them embrace what we do. In the past, I always kind of felt a bit like nervous around doctors, like, they're going to kind of call you out. But there's a lot of doctors that are really starting to realize that it's complementary. And many are even starting to prescribe natural supplements and things. So we're coming a long way. There's still a long way to go. But
I mean, you're not going away. And medicine is not going away, and it just makes sense to work together. One thing you and I just talked about too is who is listening here today, and I really feel like we have some new entrepreneurs that are just getting started, or maybe they're stuck and struggling. And you really nailed it when you said there's a lot of stress that we put on ourselves when we have our own business.
Know that entrepreneurs often, we kind of thrive on stress to some extent. Like, not all stress is bad, but when it is a lot of stress and it's going on for a long time, it does negatively impact our health. And, there's a lot, we can't get rid of stress, but we can certainly raise our stress resilience so that our body and mind don't suffer the negative consequences of stress. And self-care is so important. And, I think it's like you hear the term self-care thrown around so much these days, but it really is so important, I think, for everyone, but particularly entrepreneurs, to really invest in their health and ideally do it proactively to maintain good health and to, it's never too late as well. So, for people who are experiencing symptoms, there's so much that can be done, and it's definitely worth investing in. And I think the other thing with entrepreneurs, particularly women, we're always kind of juggling a lot of things. And like, it's, I think, quite common for women to put their business, if they have their own business, and then of course their family, particularly if they've got children, all of those things ahead, and they kind of come last. And it's never too early or too late to invest in your health, and it is such a worthwhile investment. I could argue one of the most important investments, because if you're not okay, you can't be there for the people you really want to be there for, and certainly your business isn't going to thrive. And entrepreneurs in general have a much higher risk of burnout and stress-related health conditions too. So, that's something that's important to recognize and really kind of prioritize taking care of yourself.
True. It's all part of business wellness. Taking care of ourselves. Do you have anything exciting happening in your business right now that you want to share? Anything like going on right now?
Got lots of exciting stuff happening this year. And it's, I'm feeling really inspired about it all. So I've just started working out of a new location in Minneapolis, which I'm really happy about. And like coming back to the whole COVID thing, there was a couple of years where I was just doing mostly virtual, consultations, which is great, that we have that option and it's nice and easy and convenient. But it's also really great to be offering more in-person consultations. So that feels really good. I also work out of a place in Hopkins. So now I've got a Minneapolis place as well. And I still do lots of virtual consultations as well. So that's one thing. Another thing that I'm really excited about is towards the end of last year, so 23, I completed a certification to become a metabolic balance program coach. And so metabolic balance is a nutritional program, and it's very individualized for each person. So it is based on around 35 different lab values. It takes into account people's current health status, the symptoms they're experiencing, their key health goals. And it gives them a very personalized diet. And it's broken up into different phases, but with the final one being, maintenance phase. So it's, it's not a diet where you're kind of restricting yourself and then you go off it. The final phase is the maintenance phase. And, you've got room at that point to have your treats and your celebrations and all that kind of stuff. But in general, you've now discovered a way that really suits you and has you feeling good. And I'm excited to offer this because it is so personalized, and I've never been a believer that there's one diet that's right for everyone. And there is so much overwhelming confusion when it comes to eating. And, a lot of people are trying to do the right thing to end up on very restrictive diets and might get benefit initially, but long term, some of these diets aren't really the right thing for us. This metabolic balance, it's not kind of restricting carbohydrates or, it's encompassing everything, but really helping people to learn how to eat for their good health and, in a way that makes them feel good, that they get good sleep, that they have good energy, that they resolve all the symptoms. It's really amazing, in particular for hormone balance and women in perimenopause or menopause. And that's, that's a time when a lot of women actually find it quite difficult to maintain and be a healthy weight. And it can be really frustrating because they're doing all the right things. But this program largely is focused on resetting metabolic health. And so much comes from that, including hormone balance, and it addresses inflammation in the body and a whole range of things. So I'm very happy to be offering that. And
that's so awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very exciting. Very exciting. So coming from a marketing standpoint, who is your ideal client for that?
Yeah, it's helpful for a full range, including men. But generally, I do tend to work more with women. I would say kind of from 40 up, into, women who are retired and
facing the empty nest.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of entrepreneurs as well, people with businesses. I guess that kind of comes from doing different networking with having my own business. So, for metabolic balance, where I'm really excited to offer it is, I would say, women from, 40 plus who just really, they're ready to invest in their health. They want to eat a diet that's healthy. They need a bit of help, and they perhaps feeling a bit overwhelmed, want their hand held during that process. So it's, it goes for 3 months, the process, and there's a lot of one-on-one coaching and really helping people to embrace it. And
wow, wonderful. That's very exciting. And then you also do breath work?
Yes, breath work. And that's the other thing. This year, my aim is to offer a breathworks workshop on a monthly basis. And, if there's the demand, maybe even more. But initially, I'm just offering one every month. And so I teach two methods of breathwork. Both of them are very focused on restoring healthy, functional breathing. So how we breathe all the time. So that's sort of how they're differentiated to some of these other breathworks like Wim Hof and breathwork methods where there's intentional hyperventilation, quite different. That's kind of, you're doing that for a short period of time. And it can have its benefits.
What is that called again? Repeat that one. I love
Wim Hof. It's quite different. The one that I teach there's two. One is called Buteyko breathing method.
That's the one.
And
Okay.
the second one is called Oxygen Advantage. And so they're quite complementary. There's some overlap, but they are distinct. Buteyko breathing method is largely aimed at people who there is some level of dysfunctional breathing occurring, and they're probably suffering different symptoms that are linked in with dysfunctional breathing. It's amazing for helping people to restore their health by their breathing. So things like asthma, it's best known for helping asthmatics get off their medications, obviously in conjunction with working with their doctor. No one takes themselves off their medications, but yeah, great for asthmatics, people that suffer from anxiety, digestive symptoms like IBS, very helpful for our hypertension, helps people restore healthy blood pressure, and also in the area of sleep. So people that are experiencing impaired sleep, Buteyko breathing is really great for that, right through to sleep apnea. Sorry, what were you?
Oh, sure. It's just fascinating, Beth, because people will just casually say it's all in the breath. But
Yeah.
you have really dug deep into understanding all the metaphysics of the breath.
Yeah, it's so interesting because like our breath, how we breathe is so powerful, and it's both unconscious, it's happening even when we're not thinking about it, but it is in our conscious control. And so when you think about it, if we're stressed, say, someone kind of bursts into the room and scares us both, immediately our respiratory rate is going to increase. We're going to move to shallow chest breathing rather than using our diaphragm muscle. We might even start breathing through our mouth rather than our nose. Our heart rate will increase, we'll have the pounding heart, and a whole bunch of physiological changes are happening, definitely, linked in with adrenaline. So, that happens automatically. However, we can also we have a lot of control because we can control how we breathe. And so if we intentionally slow down our breathing and kind of do the opposite of what I just said, so we slow down our breathing, we restore nasal breathing, we start using our diaphragm muscle and just slowing it all down and making it more subtle, we can very effectively put ourselves back from this state of fight or flight back into rest and digest, so parasympathetic nervous system. And when we do that as a structured practice, this is kind of what Buteyko breathing is all about. Over time, ideally, we're doing some of these exercises each day. We are going to rewire the brain. We're going to restore kind of healthy, functional breathing, and we can really use it as a tool. And then that kind of leads into Oxygen Advantage, which is the other method I teach. It's more focused on people who are they're wanting to enhance their physical performance. So they might be kind of playing sport, they might be really into running, marathon running, some kind of physical performance. I teach people who are, playing team sports and things. But when we utilize the breath and really make sure we've got good functional breathing, but also there's exercises that go beyond that we can enhance our performance, our endurance. We can really support our recovery post-exercise. We can reduce the risk of injury. Functional breathing helps to support functional movement as well. Yeah, so there's so much to it. And, it's also like it really helps our mental health as well. If we're breathing right, we feel a lot better. There's a big link between dysfunctional breathing and anxiety.
With doing that, it allows us to stay present, to stay in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're eating and gulping down your food.
That's it. Anytime we feel ourselves being reactive, something's triggered us into kind of feeling reactive. If we come back to our breath, it's a really powerful way to reconnect us with our bodies and get us out of our head. Eating as well, like the last thing we want to be doing when we're in a state of fight or flight or feeling really stressed is sitting down to a meal, because our body is not putting energy into digesting that food. And so sometimes when I'm working with a client that has a lot of digestive symptoms, I'll get them just to sit down for 1 minute to do a breathing exercise before they actually start eating their meal. And that can really effectively help them to resolve things like bloating and cramping and stuff that they experience post a meal. There's a lot to it. There's so much more than we realize, and I think there is a lot of miseducation around breathing. So it's quite interesting when we start learning about it, called breath, which has become very popular. So a lot of people are kind of really starting to embrace it and understand how important the breath is and how we breathe to our mental and physical health.
I will put a link to that book in the show notes so that people can look that up if that's a book that you're recommending. I think that's great. And then I will also include how our listeners can reach out to you, Beth. And I know they mentioned Will Hoff, and we talked about resetting metabolism. And one of the connections that Beth and I have is that Beth has been doing cold water dipping pretty much every day. I would love to hear anything that you want to share about that. Improve your breathing and everything about your health.
Absolutely. I actually snuck a dip in this morning and it's really cold. So the breath is such a useful tool with the cold water dipping. Whenever I'm with someone who's dipping for the first time in the cold water, my advice always to them is just to focus on your breathing and focus on slowing it down, making it really gentle and subtle, and just, it keeps them connected to their body rather than, in their mind and panicking. And you kind of see a bit of magic happen in those circumstances because they get into the cold water. The kind of immediate thing that tends to happen is that everything kind of contracts and they feel like their breath almost gets sucked out of them. But then, if you're there and just reminding them to come back to the breath and just slow it down and keep it gentle, you see everything kind of relax again. And it's really quite magical. And certainly there's other benefits of the dipping, which is why so many of us keep going back and doing it on a regular basis. But combining it with the breathing, it's a really lovely combination. Such a beautiful mindfulness practice.
Beth, you're the only person I know that I could have an hour conversation about ice. We could just talk about ice for a full hour and still come up with things to talk about.
Yes, it's a good addiction.
Our listeners, they can find you on your website, and I can put that in the show notes. And that is
naturopathics.com. Complimentary discovery calls. And, I really encourage people to take advantage of those. I think a really important piece of the puzzle when you're working on enhancing your health is to find the right practitioner. You really want to find someone that you resonate with. And so the free discovery calls are just a nice way to connect. I can answer questions. I can give you a better idea of how the process works.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much. 20 years says a lot about you, Beth. And you've poured your heart and soul into this business. And it is difficult being an entrepreneur, but that hasn't stopped you. And you've really found different avenues to create success in so many different ways. And we as female entrepreneurs, we have to find a way to create that positive ROI. But sometimes magic doesn't happen if we don't do something to create it.
So you still got to take steps. And, I think on the kind of the journey of, your business and from start and as you kind of progress through, you figure things out as you go. It doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. And sometimes the things that maybe don't work the way you had initially hoped, they may lead you to doing other things, taking a different path, which you wouldn't have otherwise done. And it's an evolution. And I think there's no such things as mistakes when it comes to being an entrepreneur and having a business, because you learn, as long as you do learn from those, we'll call them mistakes in inverted commas, as long as you learn from them, they actually give you a lot of information and help you navigate in a better way in the future. And maybe pathways come out of them that wouldn't have otherwise. I think a big part of it is just embracing it and kind of enjoying the ride as best you can. There's always some stresses involved, but gosh, life is short and we have to kind of embrace it. And having fun along the way is super important. And that's a big part of connecting with other people that are doing similar things and have their own business. That support helps a lot, I think.
It does. It does. It really does make a difference. I want our listeners to reach out to Beth so that they can have that free consultation appointment. Get to know Beth the way that I know her, because I know that she will help you on your journey in all three areas: breath work, metabolic,
And naturopathics, nutrition, the metabolic balance, whatever it is, everyone has different areas of weakness, and whatever it is, it's always going to be a very tailored experience. And for your listeners as well, if they mention the podcast name, I'm really happy to offer a % discount off an initial consultation, whether that's for breathworks or a naturopathic consultation. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply to the metabolic balance program because that's a separate thing. But yeah, definitely as far as the consultations go, I'd really love to offer that. So just mention the podcast name.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Whatever it means to each person, I just encourage people to really take the time to invest in their health. And that might just be adding more vegetables into your daily meals, or if there are symptoms that are bothering you, then, I really encourage people to reach out, whether it's to me or another practitioner, because our health, it's so important. And when we feel good, it flows into every other area of our life.
It does, yeah.
To really live it to the max.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for You for Female Entrepreneurs. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week, and if you want to support the show, leaving a review goes a long way. A special shout out to our amazing partners and sponsors. Their support allows us to continue bringing you engaging content every week. And with that, a big thank you. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready to supercharge your email marketing and automation game, look no further than my favorite autoresponder, Active Campaign. It's the ultimate all-in-one platform designed to turn your contacts into customers and your customers into loyal advocates. Imagine having a tool that not only understands your customers, but anticipates their needs. That's what Active Campaign does. With its powerful customer experience automation, you can create personalized journeys that nurture leads, drive sales, and build lasting relationships. The biggest reason I chose Active Campaign after trying other autoresponders is because I wanted to make sure my emails were being delivered and not going into spam. I need to know that my emails actually get to the people I'm emailing so that I have good engagement rates, response rates, and click-through rates on every email I create. Then I can have peace of mind that what I send out about my blog posts or upcoming events gets delivered and that people get to read what I write. And since it's just me, using Active Campaign saves me a bunch of time because I've been setting up automations that I can just drag and drop, allowing me to save hours of time. Not only have their pre-built automations and integrations saved me time, I'm able to power a personalized marketing plan throughout the customer's life cycle. In the end, I really want to personalize my message and make sure that each person is getting a unique email tailored to them, because I don't want to be sending bulk cookie cutter emails. I want to make sure that my customers and community is getting things that are tailored to them as much as I can. Email marketing doesn't have to be crazy where you're not just pushing information. Active Campaign teaches you how to be pulling information as well. I appreciate the value I've received from Active Campaign when it comes to creating and managing email campaigns. The support through webinars, live chats, and live study halls have been very helpful in maximizing their platform and a great alternative to those other email services I've tried in the past. Active Campaign allows me to build a business without relying on advertising. It has simplified my marketing processes, saving me time, which allows me to focus on what I do best, serving my customers. Whether you're a small business or just starting or a seasoned entrepreneur, Active Campaign scales to meet your needs and grows with you. If you're ready to up your marketing game, go to my website, lisarcarmichael.com/activecampaign. That's my partner link, and sign up for a free trial. Experience firsthand the power of Active Campaign and take your marketing to a new level. Don't miss out, stay ahead, and stay automated with Active Campaign. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/activecampaign for your free trial. Hi friends. Today, let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been a significant part of my life, skincare. As a busy female entrepreneur, I need a skincare routine that's quick, easy, and super effective. Turning 60 didn't bother me because I've been taking care of my skin every day for 20 plus years. I didn't always, but I'm glad I did start when I did. Let's fast forward to 1 year ago, and let me tell you about a game changer for me. I stumbled across my secret weapon, Droplet. Droplet is not your typical skincare company. It's a revolutionary approach that delivers personalized monthly skincare subscriptions tailored to your specific skin type. The magic lies in the Droplet Micro Infuser, a device that creates microscopic droplets from formulated capsules, expelling them at a high velocity to infuse ultra-concentrated active ingredients deep into your skin. Now, I'm a self-proclaimed skincare junkie. I've tried it all, from serums to spa treatments, and even once selling a natural body care line. So when I heard about Droplet, I knew I had to give it a shot. I can confidently say it's made a remarkable difference in my skin and my routine. The Droplet Skincare Micro Mist Infusing Device is a game changer. It uses a gentle mist to penetrate ingredients 20 times deeper through micro mist technology. It works with formulated capsules similar to an espresso machine, allowing you to infuse the treatments that are right for you into, not just onto, your skin. Here's how Droplet works. Choose your serum, collagen, retinol, glycolic acid, or maybe a lip plumper. Insert the capsule, hold the device to your face, and press the button. A fine mist of the serum is released onto your skin, targeting your face, your neck, chest, anywhere you want to focus on. These misting capsules have transformed my skincare routine. The results are incredible, from increased resilience to fading hyperpigmentation. Why do I love Droplet? It's quick, easy, and the capsules are recyclable. No cleanup, no hassle. And here's the bonus. Droplet's formulas are clinical strength, dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, soy-free, fragrance-free, and vegan-free. It's a skincare lover's dream. If you're looking to level up your skincare routine and evolve beyond the basics, Droplet is your answer. Plus, they offer free skin consultations with their estheticians to address your skin concerns. Investing in a good skincare routine and self-care is crucial for any woman, especially us busy entrepreneurs. First impressions matter, and you want to put your best face forward. It's time to evolve and embrace the next level of skincare. Head over to the Droplet link on my website today, where you can start your own personalized Droplet routine. Here's to glowing, radiant, and fiercely beautiful you, no matter what age you are. Go to lisarcarmichael.com/droplet.